We're going to be talking about what we can learn from real money gaming and use in the social casino, social gaming space for the next 20 or 30 minutes. The presentation is really in three parts. First, why listen, why it's going to be relevant to you, why you should spend 30 minutes of your life in here as opposed to having coffee or enjoying yourself. Then, on a product level, what we can learn, get inspired from in real money gaming that we can then use in social casino. And this part will be probably more social casino centric. What's working in real money gaming product-wise is most applicable to product for social casino. And the third part is what we can learn from real money gaming in terms of CRM, user acquisition, VIP management. And this is really applicable across all of social mobile gaming. So that's going to be the presentation, but what I really want to stress is I'd like it to be as interactive as possible and not wait for the end for question and answer, or else it's going to get really boring. I'll probably even fall asleep. So please, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, raise your hand, yell, jump on the table, whatever. We want to try to keep this interesting. So why are you here? Again, why are you giving up 30 minutes of your life? First, and I think one of the things that hopefully will be valuable to most of you is I've sat in almost every chair out here. As Marina mentioned, I've been in the industry for 25 years. I've just seen a gentleman I've known for about 15 of those. I've known Marina for at least 7. And in that time, I've not only learned a lot about the industry, but I've had a lot of different roles. I've been at a startup for 17 years, so I know the challenges that you face in a new company, in a company that's self-funded, and an indie company, or if you've just raised money. And then I've worked at some of the biggest companies in the world. I've been at Disney, I've been at Zynga, I've been at PokerStars. So I kind of have seen both sides of the spectrum, and what I'm going to try to do today is make this talk as relevant as possible to everybody, because I think there's things all of us can learn, and the worst thing to do is to be sitting there and spend 30 minutes and come out of it with absolutely nothing or some fluff that's totally useless. What I've always tried to do is make this relevant, give you at least 1 or 2 things that you can bring back and talk about at a product meeting or one of your CRM meetings and possibly apply. I've also been, as Marina mentioned, involved in 3 exits. I know a lot of, kind of the smaller and independent developers, as well as some of the bigger companies. That's something you're looking for. Always, I keep that in mind also, because that's something that, you want to consider when you're making your product and building your company. And I also, I think I'm in a unique position to bring examples from real money into social, because until about 3 years ago, I was squarely in that social, free-to-play, or even the CD-ROM business years ago. So I come from the video gaming side, but for the last 3+ years, I've been at Stars Group. So they are the largest, for those of you not familiar with the real money gaming world, they're now the largest real money gaming company in the world. With a recent acquisition of Skybet here, over $2 billion in revenue, probably over $1 billion in profit. So although I'm not directly involved with the real money business, I spend way too much time in meetings with those guys. I know what's going on, and I really understand what's driving the business. And I've already, in our social division, been trying to use the lessons from real money to make us more competitive. And then hopefully that's something that can help you build your companies. So why care about the real money space? One thing about the social game business, and especially social casino, and I'm as guilty as anyone, is that there's actually a lot of arrogance in the business. You compare it to the other parts of the social game industry, and I think the social casino business is arguably I wouldn't say easiest, but it's the most successful. It's not as hit-driven as the mid-core, even the match 3 market. It's easier to make money, profitability, especially in a slots product or even any social gambling game. It's easier to achieve in many ways than it is in the other parts of the social gaming business. So in many ways, the folks in the social casino business are the big dogs in the social space. We're doing really well. You see companies like Playtika acquire for almost $5 billion, Big Fish acquire for about $1 billion. Those are big numbers in gaming, and it's given us a lot of confidence. And that confidence often, creates problems in that we don't look outside our business. We don't look to grow it. And one complaint I would have about the social casino space, it really hasn't changed that much in the last 5 or even 10 years. I remember, when Slotomania launched and Double Down Casino, and You look at the products, they haven't changed that much. A social slot is still largely a social slot game. We've gotten a lot better at monetization, at tuning the economies, at adding features, at VIP management, but the products haven't changed significantly. Poker's still poker. The bingo games are cool, but they haven't really evolved that much. And I think part of that is the fact that the industry is doing well. We haven't seen that huge need. But if you look in the grand scheme of things, yes, social casino is a $4.5 billion industry, growing 7 to 10% year on year. But you compare that to real money, and real money sports is a $22 billion business. Real money casinos, more than twice the size of social casino. Those are huge businesses. So to think we can't learn anything from what's combined about a $40 billion business is just arrogant. There's a lot we can learn from these companies, and add to that, given the size of these markets, they're investing hundreds of millions of dollars in product development, in marketing, and we can leverage what they're spending their money, their R&D in, and bring it into social. There's no reason we should not be learning from what's going on in the industry on a higher scheme. So first, as I said, I've split it into two areas. One is product. What can we learn product-wise from the real money gaming space? And then we'll talk later about CRM and what I would call engagement. So first on the product side, if you look at the social casino space, the three main verticals are all strongly rooted in real money. Slot machines were in the first casinos, been around well over 100 years. Poker, you watch any Western movie, people are playing Texas Hold'em for real money and going out and shooting each other. Bingo's been played in bingo halls and churches and casinos for hundreds of years. You still have 100-year-old people playing bingo. It's that type of game. All of the things that make social casino great came from real money. So what's that say, at least to me, is that let's look at real money and see what the next big areas in social casino are going to be. What's really big in real money or growing in real money that hasn't come to social casino yet? And I think one of the challenges a lot of social casino companies have, and I'm not sure where most of you are from, except for the folks I already know, is that being in the US, being in Israel, where a lot of the social casino development goes on, you don't see the real money world. You're actually blocked from it. So you don't know what's going on in that space, as well as a company in the UK or a company in even Russia. I wanted to kind of really stress that there's things happening in real money gaming that can really impact your product. So there's three verticals in particular I wanted to call out today. The first is sports bet. As you saw on the other slide, that represents more than half of the real money gaming market. Now, folks have tried to go into sports bet and social and failed. It's a really challenging business, in part because it's very event-driven. You have a lot of activity, say, this weekend in sports bet because of the Real Madrid-Liverpool match. And then in 2 weeks, it's going to blow up with the World Cup. But if there's no event going on, there's not that much to do. That does not work well with social gaming mechanics, which are all based on almost continuous engagement, bringing players in every day, multiple times a day, creating that habit. That said, there's probably 2, 3, maybe 5 of you in this room who might be able to figure out how you can tap into that market. Because obviously, the fact that people want to spend billions and billions of dollars on sports betting means they're interested in it. It's a way to enjoy sporting events more. This is one area that has to be ripe for opportunities. Even if it's not a standalone product, are there ways to integrate sports bet into your casino products, into your poker products, so that, again, you can appeal to people who already love that mechanic? Second area that I'm very excited about is something called live dealer. If you're based in Europe, you're very familiar with it. Effectively, rather than playing blackjack or roulette or baccarat with a random generator, you're actually playing with a live dealer, video streaming it with other people at the table. When I got to Stars, one of the benefits of my position was every time a public company would announce their quarterly results or annual results, we would get a summary of it. And what I noticed relatively quickly was every single report, the area for optimism, even if the numbers were terrible, where they were growing, what they would be stressing was this live dealer part of the business. It's now 25% of the real money casino market and growing. It has incredible penetration, yet you barely see it in social. At G2E last year, there was a small Vegas-based company that's trying to do something, but only on Facebook, and to be blunt, not that well. This is an area that obviously people love. They're moving to it from other parts of the casino industry, from slots, from table games. So there's a huge opportunity in social for it. And the third area is virtual sports. So I'm not sure if anyone's ever been in an arcade or even a casino, and you know those little silly games where the horse runs around, the metal horse or plastic horse runs around the track, and you bet on is green going to be blue. Well, that's virtual sports in a way. That's virtual horse racing. And if you look at Big Fish Casino, it is part of their game. But the technology has really advanced in the last couple of years, where if you look at the events now, and it could be horse racing, it could be football matches, it could be basketball, it looks like you're watching a real game. It's incredible. You know, look on YouTube, Google virtual football by Inspired, or virtual dog racing from Playtech, and it's incredible. It will put EA to shame. The virtual football games are much better, or at least as good, and I would argue much better, than what you see in FIFA or Madden. And this is something that's really taking a foothold in Europe, in real money gaming, but again, it's being neglected in the social space. So these are three areas that are growing, are significant, are already generating tens of billions of dollars, yet they're really negligible in social and represent a great opportunity. Then outside of the actual verticals, there's mechanics that we can learn from the real money space. So in poker, a few years ago, just before I joined the company, PokerStars launched something called Spin and Go. So it's a small tournament, 3 players, very quick action. And at the beginning of the tournament, a wheel is spun, and this determines the prize pool for the tournament. Well, that's now more than half of poker revenue. It is by far the biggest category in the poker space. Yet if you look at the social poker products, we actually have it in ours. Pokerist, I believe, has it in theirs, and they actually have some people who came over from PokerStars. But in general, it's been totally neglected. So what you're seeing is new variants that, you know, when a company is getting $1 billion from, you know, the industry, they are really investing in it, and it's being neglected in this space. Jackpots are another area. So that, you know, with Product Madness, they were able to become effectively the #2 social game company on the back of doing a great job launching and being the first with progressive jackpots. But you're seeing companies like Red Tiger in the real money space doing really innovative things in jackpots. It's driving a lot of the real money casino revenue, and there's a lot of ideas that could be used to inspire social gaming. I'm not going to go through all of them, but the real point is, you know, look at what's happening in the real money gaming space. Look at what's working, where companies are getting market share. It's not that hard. You go on the front, if it's working, it's going to be on the front page of a casino. It's going to be the first thing you see. It's going to be in their email CRMs to you. And leverage that into social. We're not seeing, you know, those are great opportunities to bring in new mechanics without trying to reinvent the wheel. And the third area on the product side is audience. So when I was at Zynga, people laughed at targeting men for slots. It's like only women play, older women in particular. That's the primary part of the market. And yeah, that was kind of considered a given. I still remember when I first moved to Europe, going to a casino after a poker tournament, the men who stopped playing would go and play slot machines. And I'm like, wait a second, maybe men do play slots. And then you see these demographics. So whereas social casino, almost 3/4 of the players are women, in real money gaming, the overall audience is 65% male, and even real money casino is more male than female. Now, I'm not saying neglect the existing audience, but there's a huge audience there that's waiting to be served in the social space. There's no reason that someone who plays real money slots in Europe, it wouldn't appeal to the same type of person in the US, in Australia. So these are 3 areas. You know, there's new verticals available for social casino. There's new mechanics within those within existing verticals that can be leveraged. I didn't even talk about what's being done in real money bingo that could be used in social bingo. And then there's new audiences that are largely being neglected in the social space that real money has proven likes casino products. Now, the final part of the presentation, I'm just making sure I'm running a little bit over, so if I talk quickly, I apologize. But I think this is important, so I will try to get this in the last 10 minutes. But this is important not only to social casino companies, but really to any gaming company. Engagement, acquisition, CRM, that's all kind of the crux. The customer is really the crux of building a long-time successful product. And while we in the social space do a really good job, especially doing it metrics-driven, there are some areas that we're neglecting. I think one of the most interesting on the acquisition side, if you look at real money gaming, where a lot of money is being spent on acquisition, the most effective tools are giving people promotions to come into the game. Now, obviously in social, we're not going to give people real money to download and play, hit it rich. But it shows that even making offers to players as part of your user acquisition, as part of your creative, is very effective. It could be, get $20 worth of chips for downloading the app. Spin to win is actually a very strong mechanic. Instead of giving a set number, people love the chance variant. So spin a wheel, that's how much you get. Triple your winnings the first week you play. You can just think about that. Not only is that an acquisition tool, but that increases your day 1, your day 3, your day 7 retention. All of these things, they're not easy, especially given Apple and Google and how they kind of manage offers and everything. But user acquisition is not easy. It's not easy to get users now at an ROI positive way. So figuring out ways to integrate these type of promotions that work in real money into social is a great opportunity. The other area to look at is things other than just traditional performance digital marketing. Again, at a previous company I worked at, we looked at affiliate marketing and everyone poo-pooed it because it wasn't scalable. Well, no user acquisition channel is totally scalable. Facebook, any of the big ad networks, the more you spend, the higher the prices are going to be, almost by definition of the bidding model. Nothing is 100% scalable. Affiliates drive really good users, really motivated users into your product. It's actually very similar to the influencer marketing, which I know is kind of a very hot topic at this show, but it's something that's really neglected in the social space, but you're seeing how well it's doing in real money. And when I say that, these companies actually have more to spend than the social companies. At PokerStars, they spend about $100 million, or Stars Group, we spend about $100 million on marketing a year. You have to find things other than Facebook ads to be able to do that effectively. Television, people have been talking about that in social for years. I wouldn't say replace your user acquisition spend with television, but even here you see very effective ads from Huge Casino on TV. I remember back in the States, Big Fish ran some good campaigns. Double Down ran some good campaigns. There's ways to use television. And the thing about television is you do reach a broad market. You are able to get people who are now sick of seeing video ads or watch to earn videos. And then tying your user acquisition, not just to installs, and I think a lot of people who are more sophisticated are already tying it to events, but really tying it to your purchases. Making sure that the promotion is part of your user campaign. Again, going back to that first page, here's $20 to acquire $20 worth of free chips if you start playing it. These are all things that work incredibly well in the social space that can be extended into, work well in real money, that can be extended into social. The other thing that I think they do really well in real money is magnifying and amplifying your CRM promotions, especially to VIPs. So you're running a sale, let's say 100% off. I think everyone in this room has probably run one of those. Normally you might do an email campaign, in-game banners, your paywall. But what you would see in real money is they would magnify that with actual Facebook campaigns, amplifying social media posts, etc. And that has a really high ROI. Ways to get, especially if you're targeting your spenders, your VIPs, ways to get them to know about the promotion outside of in your app. Think of it, when Marks and Spencer's runs a sale, they don't just put up banners in the store. They're going to tell you about it on television. They're going to run newspaper ads, or they used to run newspaper ads, now they might do it online. But in general, you really try to magnify your promotions, and that's something that's done very well in the real money space that I think us social companies can get a little better. Again, tying the offers to getting more free, again, that is being done in the social space, but not as extensively as in the real money. Spend $5, get 20 worth of chips for free. I think this is something we can also really learn from the real money space, aspirational events. So PokerStars runs a series of land-based poker tournaments, places like New Jersey, Monaco, Sochi. These live events are not revenue, they're not looked at as revenue centers. They come out of a marketing budget. They're generally cost neutral, but the goal is really to build excitement for the product, for the brand. And it works great. This is why you have people who've been playing 10, 15 years, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's these live events. And then they do the same online. Every week there's a million, I guess they call it the Sunday Million, where they guarantee a prize pool of $1 million. And that creates a lot of buzz. That creates the quote unquote water cooler talk that people are talking about. Yes, only one player wins it. But in the grand scheme of things, it's a huge driver to build up a product, build up a brand. You see it in esports, you don't really see it in social casino. I only have 5 minutes left, but this is actually, to me, one of the most important areas. So I'm very proud that I was kind of helped originate and start Zynga's VIP program. At first we did it for Hit It Rich, extended it out to Zynga Poker. Now it covers all of their products. And at the time, VIP was something that was really limited to land-based casinos. Now you see it, most social companies have a VIP host or VIP management, but it's still very primitive, including what we're doing, including what most of our competitors are doing. I would say it's glorified QA in effect, or I guess customer service, in that it's really just responding to VIP's problems as opposed to being proactive. What you see in the real money space, and this could be a land-based casino, this could be an online player like William Hill, is that they know their VIPs inside and out. They talk to them regularly. They invite them to events, Cheltenham, the World Cup, and they build that relationship so that they get a real sense of loyalty, so that they, when they launch new products or sales, it's just integrated. But it's more that there's a real bond, and it's much more proactive than what you see in the social space. And I think as VIPs continue to drive the bulk of social casino revenue, it's something that we should not be content with how VIP management is done now, but really take it to the next level and use real money gaming as an example. And then ambassadors. So I'm not talking about having Kim Kardashian play your slot game. It's not about an influencer who has a lot of fans. It's more about getting people who really care about your product, who love your product, to become that thought leader. And it goes to the live events and everything, and it's creating this aura, halo around your product, your brand, that gets literally millions of people playing it, more likely to spend. And I think, again, you see it in esports, you're not seeing it much in social casino. Well, thanks, everyone. Enjoyed it.